Yes, good morning, brothers and sisters. I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's having a nice day. Thought I'd come on and give you a bit of crack. Announce my retirement. I'm walking away from the BKFC. What can I say? I'm fulfilled. I've had one hell of a journey. Some fantastic experiences with the BKFC. Some brilliant highs, some brilliant lows. And like I say, I feel fulfilled. There's nothing really else that I want to do in the game. I don't want to really come back to the UK and start fighting on these shows and that after being on such a show like that in Spain. And no disrespect to any of the fighters in the UK. There's some incredible talent in the UK. But none of the names motivate me. None of them. There isn't a name out there in the UK in the light heavyweight or the middleweight division that could motivate me into a training camp. I don't look at any of them and think, I really, really want to beat that lad. I really want to get in there and have a go at that lad. I don't look at none of them and think that. And there's some great fighters, by the way. That's no disrespect to any of them. Just none of it tickles my fancy no more. I've had an incredible run, and I'm getting old. I'm getting old. My body's catching up on us. Last couple of fights, I've been a few seconds behind, and just that cognitive delay. It's just father time. That's all it is. And I'm in a brilliant position. I've done really, really well, and I thank God, that for putting me in the BKFC. I've got to give Dave Feldman a massive shout out. Of course, Conor McGregor as well, getting a shout out, but Dave Feldman has been a man of his word from the very off. Since I very first met him at Wembley, at my debut, anything he ever said to us was going to happen always came into fruition. He's a man of his word. He's one hell of a boss and a brilliant businessman. What can I say? Thank you, Dave Feldman. And I'm so glad I took that fight at Wembley on a massive stage, which was terrifying, by the way. And every single fight I've had, I've been absolutely petrified. That first fight, especially at Wembley, waiting behind the curtain for them to call your name, fighting a two-time world champion in Teddy Brazier. Now, that was terrifying, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. Embrace that fear. Be grateful that you can feel. Put yourself through these situations, endanger yourself. Be a doer. Go out and do it, because don't be one of these people who just sits on the sidelines and watches everybody else do something while they probably just comment on it. And, I understand and I get it. I know how easy it is to criticise from the cheap seats. I get it. I've been there. I've done it before. Always got something to say about someone else's achievements. In reality, you're doing nothing of your own. You're doing nothing. And very easy to criticise from the cheap seats, but to go out there and actually do it, to put your body through that, to come out on the other side knowing that what you're made of. You see, when you go right down to the wire and you're waiting to do bare knuckle combat on the biggest bare knuckle platform on earth for the BKFC, and you're terrified of being made a mug of, and you go out there and give it 110% no matter what, you find out loads about yourself. You find out who you really are. And when lads are waiting behind the curtain and they're waiting on their name getting called and they're waiting to go in the ring, you see then and there what them fighters are all about. You see what they're made of, because a lot of people do this game for different reasons. And me, I love the fear. I absolutely love that fear and that feeling of being terrified. It does something to you hormonally. You get an incredible strength. You get a charge, a charge of strength like you've never had before. It's unbelievable. Nothing comes close to fighting for the BKFC. Not even sex. Nowhere near. There's nothing like it. And I always said I wanted to be wrapped up by the time I was 40. So this is it. I don't want to be doing this much longer. Injuries are piling up. I'm slowing down. And for me, mediocre skill set, You know, I've done incredibly well. You know, I wanted it really badly sometimes, and I put the effort in the gym, and I got all the way to a world title shot, you know, so I was this close to achieving greatness. You know, I can live with that. Now, what I want to see is all these fighters in the UK, I want to see them all do well. And there's so much talent in the UK, in the BKFC. There's lads here in the UK that could go on and win world titles. You know, some lads are good enough. And I want them all to do much better than me. I want them to go on further than I've went. I want them to make more money than I've made. I want them to have bigger profiles than I've got. Because it's all there for them. All you need is a big pair of balls. And you can have it all. You know, there's, like I say, some brilliant fighters in the UK, and I wish them all very well. There's only one or maybe two fighters on the roster that I don't get on with. I've got no time for them. But it doesn't mean I hate on them or anything. I just don't support them. I don't actively support them. Funny, sometimes in the BKFC, you can have two lads who you both like them both. You get on with them both really well, and now they're fighting each other. That happens a lot, especially to me, because I get on with 99% of the roster. So a lot of the time, you don't have a horse in the race. But whoever wins, you're pleased for them. You know, it doesn't matter which one wins. This is a case of may the best man win in the BKFC. And somebody's got to get chinned. You know, it's that simple. Somebody has got to get chinned. And to these lads who's wanting to progress in the BKFC, some lads who's maybe been knocked clean out. You know, I'm very fortunate. I've never got sparked. But we know the dangers when we sign up to this game. We know that could potentially happen to any of us. You can have your lights shut clean out. You know, so to the lads who want to keep in the BKFC and they want to progress in the company, I would say don't give up on yourself. Don't let a bad defeat get in your way. This is bare knuckle. You know, you've got to come back. If I'd have walked away after my first defeat at Leeds when I got spanked off Jared Warren, the now reigning, defending light heavyweight champion, I might add, then I wouldn't have had another 2 good wins, and I wouldn't have got all the way to the world title shot in Spain. So, you know, don't give up on yourself. You've got to take the rough with the smooth in this game, and if you can get 2, maybe 3 victories on a spin, you are one incredible fighter, because there isn't many active win streaks in this game. You know, and if you go up against a fighter who's maybe 2-2 or 5-5, you know they're one hell of a fighter, because, I mean, Julian Lane's a brilliant example. Look at his record. Look how tough he is. Look how good he is. And he hasn't got a winning record. And that's another thing, you know, I'm pleased I can walk away. Apart from one last-minute standing, you know, everybody that I've fought has had a winning record. You know, they've all been, everyone I've fought come off the back of wins. And I'm pleased with what I've done. You know, and of course, listen, I think I can do more. That's the truth. I feel in my heart that I can keep fighting. And I think I could do especially well on the UK scene. But the truth of the matter is this. I think that's the perfect time to walk away for me. When I know I can do something more. I know I've still got something to give. I don't want to spend myself in the BKFC. I don't want to, you know, empty myself in the ring. And to the point where I know I've got nothing left. You know, I don't want that day to come. I don't want my kids to see that day. You know, I've had a brilliant run. Like I say, I've got all kinds of stuff up there. I've got 2 belts in my bedroom. I've got a load of posters. I've headlined 2 events, 2 co-mains, 2 feature fights. I've loved it. You know, and I don't want to stick around to be somebody's punch bag or a stepping stone for these new upcoming fighters that are coming in there. You know, I'm getting old, man. I feel old too. You know, I've had one hell of an innings. And it's just caught up on us a little bit, and I'm happy now to not compete anymore. There's a lad in Carlisle there. I've got my eye on him. I'm training him. I've got him a debut over the line in the BKFC in the new year. He's one hell of a fighter, amateur champion, won a national title in the ABAs, but he's just far from fit, you know. But we will get him there, and that's what I want to do. You know, I want to be actively involved with other fighters. Obviously, I'm Team Fox and I'm Team Faulkner till I die. Needless to mention, Team Venice, my brother. Paul probably thinks I fell out with him. I haven't spoke to him since the fight. Just is what it is, man. I love Paul to bits. I've been chewing this over, really, what I want to do. And you know something? I knew what I wanted to do. I had to make certain arguments with myself, you know, the one mainly being the one that I've just said. I've got more to give. I know I've still got fighting us. But like I say, for me, that's the best time to walk away. I don't want to empty myself. I don't want to become a shadow of myself, you know, bare knuckle fighting. You know, I'm better than that. You know, I don't want to stick about when I'm a lesser version than I already am. Remember, I started this game at 37. You know, I was already long spent. You know, and I was well past my best, and I took the bull by the horns and went for it, and I'm so glad I did. You know, what an experience. What a journey I've been on. You know, and I want to thank everybody that I've ever been intertwined with in any way, shape or form. Good, bad and indifferent. You know, I thank you. I thank you for making me the man that I am today. There isn't a soul on earth has to tell me how bad I was and what I've done. You know, I know what I've done and what I've been. You know, I've got to live with that stuff. It keeps me up at night sometimes, you know. Anything that's ever happened to me, I can take. Knives, bullets, all the kickings, all the battles, all the pain, all the prison, all that stuff's just nothing to me. I deserved all of it and I can handle all of it, and I never give it a second thought. The only stuff really what bothers me is, you know, the pain and the heartache that I've caused other people unnecessarily. That's the stuff that keeps me up at night. You know, but I've needed that. I've needed that remorse, regret, whatever you want to call it, you know, to become a better person, to increase my conscious contact with God, and, you know, to get me my moral compass and that in order, you know, and get it pointing in the right direction, because it's only through all this trauma and all this hurt and heartache that I've caused other people that's really made me a better person. You know, I'm conscious about that stuff. I don't want to hurt no one no more. You know, I don't want to hurt nobody emotionally and spiritually. I don't want to cause anybody any damage whatsoever, you know. And the contrary, I want to help as many people as I can. I want to help as many as I can for as long as I can, while I can. You know, that's what I want to do. I'll always have my hand in this BKFC game, and I'll be helping as many lads out as I can. I know how the job works now. You know what I mean? I know the job works, and I'm here to help anybody that needs me help. And I just hope that, you know, more people can continue to take something from this story of mine. You know, it's one hell of a story. And I'm so pleased the way it's turned out. There's been a lot of times in my life, a lot of times, up until not so long ago, you know, that I wasn't happy with myself. I couldn't look in the mirror. I didn't like what I'd done. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like who I'd became. But that day's gone. You know, I'm incredibly pleased and proud of the distance I've travelled, the journey I've been on, the people I've helped. You know I've helped so many people. You know, and I want to close this video on a massive thank you to all the followers and all the fans and all the friends. This story would be nothing without the people that watch it and tune in, because it wouldn't even be a story, would it? Because there'd be no one there to listen. So I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart that's tuned in, that's followed this journey, because, you know, it's only just beginning. And I'm so glad that I've pushed the boundaries and I've went against all my instincts and went against all my fears and all my emotions and done what needed to be done. You know, it's an incredible feeling to overcome your own fears. And I'll continue to push boundaries in whatever I do. You know, there's a lot of stuff on the horizon for me. I've got 5 beautiful kids. I've got the woman of my dreams. You know, and I want more kids. You know, I've got a real lust for life at the moment, and I'm so incredibly grateful. You know, thank you everybody for listening. God bless everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye for now.